Now you talk about a great time to have a referee on the show. Are you kidding me? The time is unbelievable. But anyway, this is Stan Rote. Let's give Stan a big hand. I go back to Stan. What was the first year, Stan? You tell me what year you and I met each other. Like, you can tell the story.
The first time I met Coach Hahn, I was assigned to do the Ohio State, Ohio U game in an NIT game at Ohio U. The two schools hadn't played each other for 35 years, so the state of Ohio was in a sense of turmoil at the time, because on that same day that game was announced, Ohio State fired the coach. His name was Miller. What's his first name? Eldon Miller. Well, the nicest guys you ever want to meet. So I've got two rookies with me, and I say, let's fly to Columbus, and I'll rent a car, and we'll go down to Ohio and referee this game. So we arrive in Columbus. I rent a Lincoln Town car with a telephone in it. I'm driving this gold Lincoln Town car down the river, and I see a sign for West Virginia. And I thought, damn, that's the Ohio River right there. I could have went to Pittsburgh, got too close, right? So we're about 10 miles outside of Ohio U, where Billy's coaching with a guy named Danny N-E-E, great guy.
Great guy.
As we're driving into the Ohio campus, all the houses have green balloons on them for miles going in. Beat the Buckeyes, beat the Buckeyes. So we arrive and the guy at the parking lot's jammed. There are no cars permitted in here. And I said, excuse me, us three guys, we got 3 plastic whistles, and we're going to go in that gym there and try to settle this war. We go inside and it's packed. It's 5 o'clock and the place is packed. And both bands are in there. The bands ain't got anything to do, so the bands are playing each other. Ohio State. Now Ohio U has to mimic what they just played. And if they make a mistake, then the big tubas in the back go. And so the bands are warm. So we get in the locker room. I have a good pregame. I know it's going to be a tough game. And I got 2 rookies with me. I tell them how we're going to referee this game. I said, for those of you that are Catholic, tonight we only call mortal sins, no venial sins. For you Protestants, I said, we're going to call felonies no misdemeanors. Okay? So we referee the game, it's bang, 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 bang. Down there with 2 minutes to go, it's tie, bing, 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 final horn, Ohio State wins by 1. I shook the coach's hand, got in the car, and we went. The first conversation that came out of my mind as I was driving, I said, did I miss that walk call? Did I miss it? He said, no, Stan, I don't think so. I said, that's the only call all day that bothers me. I don't know if that kid, I think it was a walk. I'm pretty sure. They said, oh, don't worry about it. It was a walk. I said, good. So we go home, get to the motel, I buy him the dinner, we're eating. 4 days later, I get a cassette in the mail from Coach Hahn. Oh yeah, you laugh, right? you have to understand my background. When they went to 3 referees, from 2 to 3, I taught 350 referees. Atlantic Coast Conference, Southeast Conference, Southern Conference, all in a Coliseum in North Carolina. Everybody was afraid about what we're going to do with 3 referees. Well, 3 referees makes old timers last longer. They don't have to run as far. In the old days with 2, we would miss that out of bounds call on the right wing. Those of you that remember, when the referee was on this side of the court and his buddy was underneath and the ball went out of bounds over here, they missed that call a lot. We don't miss too many out of bounds calls now. They can even go to the monitor to see. I had no monitor. There was a little red light behind the basket. It went off when the game was over. Okay? So it's different. But I'll tell you what's different. Now I'm going to take you to a high level. Not elementary, not high school, not college. I'm going to take you to the doctorate level of officiating. And it's just one man's opinion. Having taught it for 30 years, all over this country, and in Canada, and Korea, referees have a hard time refereeing them out there. I'll take it at home. When you pressure a team, in the years that I worked, in 41 years, I was the only referee that taught how to referee a trap. That's a 2-man trap. This will be the ball carrier. They love to trap him in the corner, right? Because if we get him in this corner, he can't go out of bounds here, he can't go out of bounds here. There's only one exit for that guy. Now, if he's dumb enough to give up his dribble, that means he has to stay there with his pivot foot. He can't even escape, right? Because he has lost his dribble. So this is the only place he can come out. True or false? True. Gotcha. So what the referee needs to do, he needs to get his ass over here, twist it, and let him come out. He has to look at him coming out. When you got a guy like Carter here, Carter is so smart. He knows that guy gave up his dribble, so Carter will leak left or he'll leak right, whatever side the guy has the ball. So Carter waits for him, and as he pivots to do something with the ball, Carter comes in with the hatchet. Bam! And he knocks the ball out of his hand. And he knocks it out clean. Right? And he hammers it. He doesn't pop it up. He hammers it and gets it. This referee now is looking at a spine column, right? And he sees this hatchet go down. He doesn't even see the play because it looks bad. And the guy who loses the ball throws his arm up. Guess what? Foul Carter. Huh? Are you with me? How many times has that happened to that kid this year? Not 1, not 2. There's been 15 referees that I know of who called a foul on that kid on that play, and it was, how about the TV camera? All ball. But look at Carter's face.
That's what tells you about how good that kid is. He doesn't whine. He doesn't piss and moan. He just turns his head like, are you kidding me? I love him. I just want to hug him. I want to referee the game and be there so I can go, no. And he makes the layup.
What are you doing Saturday? We could use you Saturday. Yeah. Huh? Hey, we play Saturday at 6 o'clock. You want to stay over a little bit?
How about this one? How about this one? Let's say the guy didn't give up his pivot foot. He can still sneak out, can he? So what he does is, this is the only place he can come out. So you only got a knee, and 4 arms. The referees are watching up here. How about if he moves his pivot foot
They don't watch
and
they
slides?
They don't call traveling in the trap.
Now think about this.
That's my big bitch all the time.
How about press West Virginia, right? Press. You know what the object of the press is? The object of the press is to make the team with the ball make a mistake. Could be a travel, because his pivot foot slides, right? Could be a push-off trying to get out, right? That coach wants that call. They're fighting to get the ball because West Virginia's offense is dictated by what they do on defense. And you can't hurt the team. Now, Coach Huggins, I would have blew up 10 games before the one he blew up. He's been patient. Let's don't criticize a guy that wins 800. How many did he win? Yeah. So I'm going to tell you a story about him. I'm in Boise, Idaho. Gail Catlett is your coach. They play Temple in the first game. They kill Temple. Temple's a great team. They kill Temple. Guess who they play in the next game? Cincinnati. I'm from Fairmont. Huggs is born in Morgantown. Catlett's from Berkeley County. I call the NCAA and I say, I graduated from West Virginia University. I don't really want the Cincinnati-West Virginia game because I gave a technical foul to Coach Catlett about 3 weeks ago. Get somebody else to have that game. Give me the Stanford-Xavier game. It's like today. It's 65, 70 degrees. 2 days now. You play Thursday, off Friday, play Saturday. You play Friday, you're off Saturday, you play Sunday. Let's go tee it up. I get some golf clubs and I'm playing. I get a call Sunday morning. Yes, this is Stan. I have the Cincinnati, West Virginia game. They won't take me off the game. Good. Now you do the math. Those coaches were probably asked who they wanted to referee. And I know Catlett voted against me, and you'll know why later on. And Huggs did, so I got the game. And don't you know, everything happens with me when I have West Virginia. Got another story for you. The game is a terrific game. Huggins, no problem. Catlett ain't saying a word. Before the game, I shake hands, right, Billy? Yeah. Coach Catlett, good luck. Coach Huggins, good luck. I'm going to work my butt off for you. There's 3 teams out here tonight, Coach. And they look at me like I'm crazy. I said, there's your team, and there's my team, the referees. There's 3 teams out here. We're going to be the best one. You know why? Because we don't miss any free throws. We don't have to get rebounds. All we got to do is get the calls right. And I walked away. 3 seconds left in the game. How about this? A guy from West Virginia named West, African American, about 5'8". Remember him?
Jared West, yep.
Here he comes down the court. I'm chasing him. He throws it up. Bam! It goes through. I ring it up. West Virginia by 1. But there's time on the clock. 2 point something. And the West Virginia bench unloads on the floor. They're cheering. They're happy. My partner's underneath the basketball. He has the basketball under the court. Great referee. Eddie Corbett from New York.
Eddie Corbett, great referee.
Eddie looks at me and he goes, and I go, we ain't calling no technical foul on West Virginia, okay? Guess what? Game's over. Cincinnati loses, West Virginia wins. Wouldn't you know, 3 weeks before, Huggins' team, Cincinnati, is playing in New Orleans. They're playing Tulane. Cincinnati makes a bucket. Cincinnati guys go out on the court. Bingo. Referee Nindo calls a technical foul on Cincinnati. Cincinnati goes down, sinks 2. Cincinnati loses by 1. Now, some weasel in the press, and I call the press weasels because all they look for is controversy. Have you noticed our center at West Virginia from Bali?
Yeah.
You know what he is. He's an absolute most difficult guy to coach because you don't know who's going to show up. But what does the camera do? Every time he see Bali do this, the camera goes right on his face. They're looking for him to say the magic word. That's some weasel press guy that's in charge of television that wants controversy. He's a good kid. He has learned that he blocks shots with 2 hands. The referees can't miss that one. Huh? It took him about 8 games, but now he can block this way, and that's good. Long as the arms don't go past your ears, guys. That's principle of verticality in basketball. It's like an elevator. So when he goes up, his arms have to be like this, next to the ears. He's going to be okay. But what happens, and he does this, that's a foul. Because it's just like being on an elevator, right? You can't do that. But he's learning. Okay? Press conference. Coach Huggins. Same thing happened to you in Tulane. You know what Coach said? The referees had nothing to do with who won or lost this game. Sometimes you get that call, sometimes you don't. How about that? I went on to the Sweet 16 in the Elite 8. Now that's what you ought to know about your coach. It's easy to criticize. Don't criticize him because he's fair. If you just want to drink a couple of beers and run off at the jaw about what the coaches do. You see all the substitutions he got? He got 13 going in, the little left-hander 3. He got 23 back off of academic stuff, and he hasn't woke up yet, but you know he can shoot. West is slow on defense. You want me to criticize the team? He can't make layups. He can't get rebounds. He can't play defense. He can't find any combination that works. Have some empathy. Have some empathy. The guy had a heart attack in a Pittsburgh airport trying to recruit for you.
Hey, Stan, hold on a second. Now let's talk about this for a minute. I want you to tell our people here how many years you worked, what leagues you worked in, how many NCAA appearances you did. Tell them about your history of being a referee, and sort of in a little bit more milder way.
I'm pumped up.
I know you are. I can tell you. Go ahead. Act like this.
I started refereeing in Fairmont, West Virginia when I was in the 5th grade. I'm 79 years old now, and I never stopped refereeing until I was 60.
Look at this guy. 79.
I lived 1 block from Miller Junior High School, and the principals in West Virginia would pick the referees for their games. There were 5th grade cheerleaders, 6th grade cheerleaders. You old timers, the clock was that little red one that you had to wind up, right? Some of the gyms were swimming pools where they threw dirt in there and put a floor. They had radiators on the walls. I used to do one-man games. You'd have to put your foot on the wall. That was out of bounds. You know where backcourt was? The other free throw line. You old timers, you're shaking your head, Pops, you know. And then I would smell popcorn. Pop, 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 pop. I'd smell the popcorn. I knew that if they sold some popcorn, they were going to pay me. You know how much I got? I got $2 a game. When I ended up refereeing, I got $2,000 a game. It's a wonderful story. Bill Reppert from Fairmont West started me. I went to Barnes. I went to East Park, every elementary school in Marion County, and I never stopped. I took the test to be certified when I was 12 years old. I missed it by 2 questions. They put a new rule in the next year. You had to be 18 to take the test. I think I cried for 2 days, but I kept working and working. I'm proud to be a West Virginian, and there are some Mike Eads is from down south. Good Teddy Valentine is from Weirton.
Good referees.
And I put myself in there, the triad. We have some wonderful referees from West Virginia. Now I'm going to tell you this story about
So you didn't answer my question.
A famous game. Think about this, old-timers.
You didn't answer my question. So how many years?
I don't want to brag.
I want to tell you.
I don't want to brag.
I want them to know. How many years did you ref, and how many NCAA tournaments?
15.
Thank you. How many ACC tournaments?
15.
How many ACC tournament championship games?
1.
How many NCAA Elite Eights?
3.
3. You never made it to the Final Four.
Never did.
And that was.
I made it to the last 24.
That was a disgrace that you never worked the Final Four.
Well,
because this guy right here could really ref the game right here. I'm telling you. Trust me.
How much time we got?
8 minutes.
Oh, good. West Virginia is the only college basketball team, only in the world, who won a game, lost that game, and won a game again in 24 hours. And today, I'm going to give you the real deal, because I was not allowed to talk. They wouldn't allow me to talk. And this is what happened. And it's a true story. And I'll get it off my chest because I regret something. There was a newspaper writer in Morgantown named Mickey Fufari. He killed me in the newspaper. He killed me. The day happened, and the next Monday when I had UMass, he died. I never got to tell him the true story. But I told the little guy that does the radio from Morgantown, I said, you got to tell Mickey this story. So here's the story. I'm in the Palestra. Those of you who've been to Philly, to the Palestra, it's Bethlehem of basketball. Lou Gola played there from LaSalle. Better than the Garden, because there's been 3 Madison Square Gardens, but only 1 Palestra. Doubleheader in the Palestra, St. Joe, Mountaineers, Catlett coaching, bango, TV game. Shot clocks on the floor in a little box. Remember that?
In the corners.
One little red light.
Yep.
Best scorekeeper in the world in the Palestra. Little red hat, never screwed the scorebook up. So the game's going on, boom, 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 boom. Another tough game. I'm refereeing with a policeman from Washington, D.C., Ernie Cage.
Absolutely.
Great guy.
Nice butch haircut. He had a nice butch haircut.
And the guy that owned the bar in Pittsburgh, Dutch Shample. So we're working the game. For some reason, Catlett didn't like me. I have no idea. But I worked my ass off in his games too. Okay? I call it like it is. I don't care if there's 8 fouls or 2 fouls. If it's a foul, it's a foul. We're good. There's 3 seconds left. West Virginia ball underneath the basket. West Virginia got to go 94. For those of you that are fans, the floor is 94 feet long. So you learned something tonight, right? 94 feet long. Now, there's TV cables where the kid from West Virginia has to make the throw in. One's to the shot clock, one's for the TV. And I'm thinking, I don't want this kid from West Virginia to trip on that because he can run the baseline. So I get the cables and I'm moving the cables back. I put the shot clock way in the corner because there ain't no shot clock now. There's only 3 seconds. And there's this bird. It's a St. Joe
Hawk.
Yep. And he's jumping around and the feathers are flying. And I said, get this chicken out of here. And so the St. Joe crowd's underneath the bucket and they're going, he ain't a chicken, he's a hawk. He ain't a chicken, he's a hawk. So I turn around and I go, right, guys, he's a chicken hawk. Right. So I give the kid from West Virginia the ball. I get the hell out of the way. And he takes 3 steps and he throws Roberto Clemente fly ball. Pew! And it's in the air. And I'm watching it. Now I start to jog down the floor. I got 2 partners standing here and here. Lester Rowe from Buffalo. That's a name I'll never forget. Lester breaks off the wing, goes to the top of the key. He jumps. He bats the ball like a volleyball to the corner. A kid from West Virginia gets the ball, lets it fly from the corner. Lester Rowe leaves the point, gets above the rim, grabs it and stuffs it. Bing, 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 game over. Bing, 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 game over. I ain't even in the jump circle. My partner looks at me, he goes, boom, he rings it up. My boss is standing like where that sign is, 05562, whatever. And I see his face. And he goes, and he's smiling. And I go, great call. And I'm thinking, do you believe that really happened? Bang, 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 gone. Game over. We go in the locker room, we're going, boy, hell of a game. Good goal. Yeah, we're all that. And there's 3 guys that do the next game, right? All of a sudden, somebody starts kicking the door. You cheating! The first one starts with an M, the second one starts with an F. I took 3 more. What the hell? So the boss, my boss, goes out in the hallway. He comes back in the dressing room. We were going to Coach Catlett's locker room and tell him that that basket was not good and that St. Joseph wins. I said, you're going to do what? I said, the hell you are. This game's over. He said, well, and the two other guys were scared about getting fired. They went. They went into the locker room and told West Virginia, Catlett to his face, they lost the game. I refused and stayed in the locker room. You know the other 3 guys that had to do the next game? I pointed a finger at each one. They said, this ain't over. I'll subpoena your ass because this is not right. And I know you, Jackie Hannon from Boston, and I know you guys, it's not going to happen. This is not right. So he comes back in. They told West Virginia, you lost. So West Virginia just won. 20 minutes later, they lost. The next game's over, 2.5 hours. I jump in my car, right? I drive back home. I can't tell you my thoughts. My first reaction was, my relatives in West Virginia were watching that game. They must think we're stupid. I was pissed. I get home. I don't sleep good. And for those of you that don't know, my wife had MS while I refereed, and she was a quadriplegic, right? And couldn't scratch her nose for 41 years. She watched every game I refereed. So, Sunday we go to Mass. Come back from Mass around 11 o'clock. Telephone, CBS Sports. Billy Packer, Billy, I can't talk to you. He said, that's not what happened. Something happened. I said, yeah, I can't talk. ESPN, Dick Vitale. I can't talk, Dick. I can't. It's awful. It's horrible. He said, I know. He said, that's bullshit, right? I know. Bam. I hang up. Now I get the boss, the real boss, Charlie Theokas, ex-AD Temple University. Stan, how you doing? I said, Charlie, I ain't doing too good. He said, tell me what happened. I said, I'm not allowed to talk. Can I talk to you? You're in charge of the whole Atlantic 10. He said, yeah, tell me. I said, you want the bullshit or you want the real stuff? He said, I want the real stuff. So here it is. We refereed a game. He stood in the corner, shook okay. Guy's kicking on the door. I give him the language, which I couldn't do. I gave him the language. He said, thank you very much. He hung the phone up. 10 minutes later, West Virginia won the game. My only regret is I never told Mickey to his face. Right? Mickey, this is really what happened, and I couldn't talk. Now, I get a call. You got West Virginia tomorrow. Yeah, Monday. I got West Virginia against University of Massachusetts. I'm taking you off the game. I said, the hell you are. Oh, yeah, he said, can you handle the Morgantown people? I said, the Morgantown people are fair. It's nothing about Morgantown people. It's about doing the right thing. Click, and I hang up on it. I show up in Morgantown. I'm nervous. West Virginia scores 2, UMass nothing. The kids all put up signs. Was that one good, Stan? Every time they made a bucket. Was that one good, Stan? How the hell could I be mad at that? Now, funny, my nephew was going to school there then, and he wrote me a letter. He said, please, Uncle Stan, I got to go to school here. That's the true story I wanted to tell you.
Stan, we got to go. Thank you so much. How about Stanley Rote, everybody? Good job. Thanks for coming on. Thank you. Thank you. Real quick, we're going to give away 2 giveaways tonight. We'll do this at the beginning of this And then at the end of the show, I've got a flag here, a West Virginia flag that flies from your porch or your house or whatever. Here's the question. First hand that I see in the air. This is Big 12 stats only. Big 12 stats only. Who leads the Big 12 in blocked shots? Big 12 games only, yes. Who? No. He's in second place. Anybody tell me who it is? Yes. Who said that? Here you go. Give that to him. Yep. All right, that's the first one. We're going to start the second half of our show with Coach Martin here. Hey, Coach Martin.
How you doing, Coacher?
How you doing, brother?
Good to see you, man.
We ready? So my second guest for the rest of the show is Coach Erik Martin, who has been here in his 11th year now.
Yes, sir.
He played for Coach Huggins at Cincinnati when Cincinnati was pretty damn good, weren't they?
Yeah. We won a lot of games, the Final Four.
And Coach Martin, I've been with him for 10 years. Got to know him, and I think we've developed a relationship in 10 years.
Absolutely.
That I respect this guy like crazy, and I feel he's been able to ask me a lot of things in the 10 years. We've had many conversations about coaching career, about the game, about Hugs. He's educated me about Hugs because he played for him and he coached with him. I never had before I came here. So we've had a great relationship. And Coach Martin is the scout for Saturday's game against Iowa State. And I always like to bring the coach that has the game on Saturday when it's his scout. So that's why I brought him on tonight. I asked him, earlier in the year, Coach Martin couldn't do something. He had something, I think you're out recruiting.
Yeah.
You were in Wisconsin seeing the little guy.
Seeing Jordan. Yeah.
Seeing Jordan play. So he couldn't do it the first time, so he can tonight. So it's good. Let's give Coach Martin a nice hand, please.
Thank you.
Good to have you, brother. Hey.
Coach Hahn, you hit the Powerball today. I'm scouting for Iowa State and Texas Tech on Monday.
Oh, you got
I
both
got back
games.
to back. Yeah.
You got back to back.
That's why I'm so into this Texas Tech game.
I didn't realize you had back to back games.
Yes, I do.
That's even better.
Yeah, it
so we
is.
can talk about both of them.
Sure can.
Let's talk about Iowa State first. Talk to me. This is what I want you to tell everybody. Give us the three main keys, because you and I talk about scouting, keep it simple.
Right.
You know, give us the three keys that we have to do Saturday at 6 o'clock to make sure we come out on top.
The first one is transition defense. They're one of the better transition teams in the league. The second one is be patient on offense. They only play 7 or 8, so I think us wearing them down or maybe getting them in foul trouble will help. And then the last one is we need to start turning up our press a little more. You know, this is the 4th year of Press Virginia, so people know the press is coming, but we got to do what we do. And if it's, trap the ball, make them play fast, speed them up, wear them down, I think we need to turn our press up a little more. If we do that, we'll be fine.
I thought last night, Erik, talking about that, Erik, that
that's the best our
the
press
first half last
yeah.
night,
Yeah.
holding those guys to 18 points, that was the best defensive effort we had last night for the season, that first half.
Well, we had a spirited practice on Monday.
I know you did.
And we had a spirited shoot-around, so I think everyone was dialed in. And, let's be honest, there was still a bad taste left in our mouths from the Kansas game, but there's nothing we could do about that. We couldn't get that game back, so we had to move on, and we did.
Tell me about Iowa State's personnel, player-wise, names, it's people we need to look out for and we need to focus on for Iowa State on Saturday.
Well, Iowa State has 2 of the best freshmen in the league, in Lard and Wigginton. I think in the league, Wigginton is averaging 16, Lard is averaging 15 and like 9 rebounds, and he's 3rd in the league in blocks behind Sags and Bamba.
Right.
And then you know, they're going to be without a couple players that's going to affect them. One is Solomon Young, who's the starting power forward, and the other is Weiler Babb, who was the only player in the NCAAs to average 12 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists.
Right.
So whether they have them or not, we need to be ready to play.
I was going through these stats today, and who's this guy for Iowa State? Let me get his name. Is it Jackson? Donovan?
Donovan, yeah, he was there last year.
This guy's like
three-point shooter.
Yeah, he's like he's in the league. He's number 9 in three-point field goal percentage. He is number 2 in free throw shooting. The guy can really shoot it, huh?
Yeah, he shot our eyes out up there last time, as did Wigginton. Last year he played backup. They played him at point the first 2 games of the year and then realized he's not a point guard. He's a better off guard, which is why they had Weiler Babb there. So with Weiler Babb there, he's probably going to have a few more point guard responsibilities.
I'll tell you what, in the first time we played Iowa State in Ames, they smoked us.
Yeah, we had no energy. That was right at the beginning of that flu that ran through our team, but we're not going to make excuses and say flu was the reason we lost, because other teams we played, they've had guys sick and no one cares. So whether you're sick or not, you play, you either win or you lose.
Let's talk about Texas Tech a little bit now. Go ahead.
They are, you know, I want to win the Big 12, but if we can't win the Big 12, I'm going to be cheering for them, because it's time someone brings down Kansas. It really is. It's time for. And I think you know Coach Bird, good guy, works hard, and Texas Tech does it the right way. They got about 5 or 6 seniors on their team, so they have kids that have been around long. They don't get one and dones. If you've ever been to Lubbock, you know it's not the most glamorous place, but for a team like that to do what they've done, you know, like I said, is there an outside chance we could end up 12-6 with Kansas and Texas Tech? It's a long shot, but if we don't win it, I'm pulling for Texas Tech, and I think they have the player of the year in Keenan Evans.
He's the best.
I don't think I can't see how they give it to anyone else.
Coach Martin, Keenan Evans, people don't know who Keenan Evans is.
I don't know why.
They don't know who he is because nobody talks about him. And he's the best guard.
He's the best guard.
He's the best guard in the Big 12.
No doubt.
He's the best guard. I'm telling you, Keenan Evans is the best guard. Now, I heard this today. Maybe you know. Maybe you don't know. Keenan Evans got a bad toe. He might not be playing. Is that correct?
Yeah, but he's playing
tonight. Is
he
playing tonight?
Yeah.
Well, it said in the article I read today, that he's going to try to play through the pain, or they think his toe's broken. That's what the article said.
I think it is too.
And he said he doesn't care. He's going to play through the rest of the year with a broken toe. And how he's playing, I didn't even know they were on. Yeah, we can watch this game right now, huh?
Yeah, it's a lot to be said about him and his toughness. And when you're a senior, you tend to look past some of those minor injuries, although that's not minor, but he knows he's not going to get a chance to try and win the Big 12 again. So he has a chance to make history. And, I mean, I'm sure the scouts who are watching him probably upgrade him as a player for trying to tough it out.
This is crazy. But in October, remember they flew me out to Lubbock?
Yeah.
And I spent a full day in Lubbock, Texas with Texas Tech's basketball team and coaching staff from lunch, dinner, evening, and the next morning. And I came back from Lubbock, Texas, and I watched them practice for 3 hours. And I thought their practice was absolutely phenomenal. And when I came back, remember I told you guys, Hugs, Texas Tech is the real deal. I think they might be the best team in the Big 12 this year because they're senior laden. Chris Beard does an unbelievable job coaching. He's a great coach here. And he's like, I watched his practice. And I was saying, these guys are really, really good. And then I watched this Keenan Evans play, and I'm going, oh my gosh, is this guy good? They have a transfer, the transfer from Florida, played at Florida.
Oh, Francis.
Francis. Yeah. Is he still playing good?
Yeah, but
Or did he tail off a little bit?
He tailed off.
He did?
When he played,
Because
when
he
we played
was-
against him the first time, he won
Oh,
the game for
God.
him with those 2 or 3 big
He was
three-pointers.
great when I practiced. I
Yeah.
watched.
Yeah.
He's a transfer. He played at Florida, right?
Yeah.
Transferred in there. Pretty damn good player.
Yeah. What makes Texas Tech so tough to guard and to play against is they'll put in a lineup of all guards, but 3 of those guards can guard a 4 or 5 man.
Gotcha.
So they can switch everything. They can get in passing lanes.
Right.
It's hard to post them up because they're lower than you. They get under your legs, and like I said, they're senior laden, so they got experience. All these guys who are seniors, they went to the NCAA tournament their sophomore year. They missed it last year, so they're a little bit
angry.
hungry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and if you add into that the 2 freshmen, Culver and Zaire Smith, they play about 8 or 9 guys that can really play.
Not to set them up or anything, but I'm going to make this scenario for you. They play at home Saturday before they come here on Monday.
Yeah.
And they play Kansas at home on Saturday. And that game probably
It's for the Big 12
is
championship.
going to decide who's going to be the Big 12 champion. And ESPN Game Day is in Lubbock, Texas. And what I'm going to tell you, Eric, is this. Game Day was here. Everything happened. You know what happened to us, and then we, I'm saying they're going to win Saturday.
Well,
And ESPN's going to be there, and they're going to have 24 hours where everybody's going to,
if Keenan Everett plays, they're going to win.
you guys are so good,
Yeah,
and they're going to roll in here after that emotional game on Monday,
Yeah.
and we're going to smack them.
Well,
Watch.
whether they win or
That's my
lose,
prediction.
yeah,
I'm telling you. I've been doing this a long time. That's what's going to happen.
whether they win or lose, it's senior night for 2 of the best guards we've had here since I've been here.
Exactly right. Senior
So,
night, yeah.
I truly believe
How
whether
about
they
that?
win or lose, our guys are going to be jacked out of their minds and want to win for JC and Dax. And I was speaking to someone today and said, usually when you get these kids as freshmen, they don't play a lot, and then their sophomore year they play a little more, junior year they play a lot. JC and Dax have played a lot from the day they stepped on campus. So I think the fans, their teammates, even the staff, we owe it to them to, kick Texas Tech's butt on a Monday.
Monday night, because it's senior night, there should be a great turnout. I hate, in Morgantown, I don't like the 9 o'clock
I don't
games.
either. That's,
Everybody thinks that's too late. But you know what? It's senior night. I talked to Brian Messerly today. Brian Messerly is the sports information director for our basketball team. I asked him, Dax and Javon Carter, does that pair have the most wins of anybody? He said they're 5 games behind Deshaun Butler, and who would Deshaun Butler be with?
who's in Deshaun's class? Joe Mazzulla in his?
Yeah.
Got to be Wellington Smith.
Willington Smith.
Yeah, it's got to be
Deshaun
someone with
Butler and Willington Smith's class
I think they had 106 to be
at 106 games, and Javon and Dax is
99.
99. So they're 7 games behind right now. So if we go on a roll and we win Saturday and win Monday and then win some Big East games, Big 12 games
They
in
can
the
catch 'em.
tournament,
They can catch
and then
'em.
NCAA
Yeah.
could catch them.
They could catch
They got a
'em.
chance. But what they've done is amazing.
Yeah, it is, and they've been great in the community. Javon has just improved every year, and you're fortunate. Fans always want you to get, we don't recruit well, and we don't get one and dones. And the reality is, one and dones are good, but they're there for 1 year and they leave, and they don't really help your overall program. We recruit guys that are here for 4 years. They build up our program. They even build up the community, and they're people that at the end of those 4 years, they get their degree, and it's people you
means
can
something.
hold in high esteem. And
It means something, yeah.
not to
Yeah.
say we wouldn't like to have some one and dones, but I don't think we need those to win at West Virginia. We need to keep looking for 4-year guys, and that's what Hugs has built our program off of at West Virginia.
That's exactly. Now, Coach Martin is a very humble guy, but I'm going to brag on you a little bit. Coach Martin is is mainly in charge of our inside guys when we break things down. He's got the inside guys. If you don't think Coach Martin's ability to coach inside players, all you got to do is look at SAGs this year, or look at SAGs from last year to this year, and this is because of this guy sitting right here, and I'm telling you.
Thanks, Billy. I appreciate it. And
You know what's crazy? This is crazy, Erik. I watch the games close. You know how I am. I'm a whack job. I'm a whack job. And finally, for the first time, Erik, watching the game, and finally, Anita, for the first time, the cameras zeroed in on Coach Martin, and the damn guys talked about you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And I'm going like, yes, that guy deserves it, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Finally
Yeah,
it happened. Good for you.
Thank you. It's funny because
Great.
you don't. Obviously, we're watching the game, so we don't know what's going on. So after the game, I call Anita, and she said, "Oh, they were giving you love tonight on TV." And still, until you actually see it, you don't know what's being said about you. So after I called her, I called my mom. She said the same thing. So last week, I watched, and it started out with Fran, and he worked with Fran, and I sent him a text. I said, "You know what? Thanks, Fran. It's not like I asked you to do that, and you didn't have to do that, but I appreciate that because." Hey, as an assistant coach, we all want to be head coaches one day.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm going to talk to.
any type of good publicity you could get, it's a blessing.
That's what I'm going to talk to you about right now. And you and I had many talks about this. And I just to tell everybody one more time, this guy right here is ready to be a head coach. This guy right here has paid his dues. This guy right here would make a very, very good head basketball coach. And I know that's what Erik wants to do. And we've talked about good jobs and bad jobs. And he'll come to me and says, "Coach, what do you think about this job? What do you think about this job?" And we've talked about it. You can leave in this business. You can leave as an assistant coach to become a head coach. But you end up sometimes you take a bad job, no matter how good you are.
You can't win.
John Wooden can win. Nobody can win there.
Yeah.
Bob Huggins couldn't win there. I mean, I'm just telling you, there's certain jobs that you just can't win at. And I'll be honest, I've told you this before, Erik. You gotta be careful because what happens is you get so excited about being a head coach and about being your own boss. And sometimes you misevaluate how good a job it is. And if you would just be a little bit more patient.
You've been telling me that now for 4 or 5 years.
I'm telling you that.
Yes.
I'm just telling you, man.
You've been giving me great advice, and the reality is I played for Coach Huggins. I'm one of those guys out there that think Bob Huggins should have been in the Hall of Fame 3-4 years ago. It's a joke how they've done this voting. I don't know who votes on it, but I really don't want to leave Hugs till we win the national championship here.
Yeah,
Once we
good
do
for you.
that, I'm out. But until then, we're going to keep grinding it out till we can get Hugs what he deserves, which is the national championship, and get him in the Hall of Fame.
I think people would be interested, Erik, which I always do. Erik played for Coach Huggins. Now, you'll love this. Erik was a junior college player from California, right?
Yeah.
He's from Cali. And he signs with Cincinnati and comes in and plays for Bob Huggins. Am I right? Were you sort of a little bit not sure about Coach Huggins a couple times early? Sort of like maybe a little bit of Teddy Allen in you?
Yeah. I knew Hugs was a yeller, but when I got there, I mean, you guys see Hugs now, and let's just keep this between everyone in this restaurant. Hugs is relatively calm now. Back when Hugs was 25 years ago, he was a bear. He yelled all the time. He just, you know how it is when you're young, you got the lungs and the energy. And I mean, a few times I would call my mom and be like, this isn't what I thought it was. I want to leave. And my mom was like, I didn't pick that place. You did. Make it work. And she'd hang up on me.
That's
So-
why. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yep,
she was
exactly.
right, and it's probably the best thing that ever happened to me because most of the guys, at least back then, when we came to play for Hugs, we all needed a little bit more discipline, and we probably need to get some things straight on the court and off the court. And Hugs made me a better man, and I gotta thank him. He's like a second father to me.
He does. He has a great way of making guys become men.
Yeah, no doubt.
Has a great way of mentoring players to become not only good basketball players,
Good men.
but good men.
Yeah.
Turns them into good men.
Yeah.
And that's what Bob Huggins is all made about.
Yeah, I was on a road trip once with Hugs, and we were flying somewhere, and it was just him and myself, and I said, Hugs, man, you've taken a lot of hard luck cases in your life, man. What, do you just make a practice of that? And he looked at me and said, Eric, you know what, a lot of those guys, if I didn't give them a chance, they never would have had a chance.
That's how he is.
You know what I mean? And that's Hugs. He's been fortunate enough that a lot of those guys could play. And some of the times, they kicked up a little dust and got in a little trouble. But, I mean, at the end of the day, who doesn't get in trouble from 17 to 21?
Absolutely.
We all make mistakes. And at the end of the day, he was there. He disciplined them. And basketball was their way out. So, it was a win-win for him and the kids.
Well, I know this. Talking about Hugs being a second chance guy. 11 years ago, when I was out of the business, and I went through that rape trial at LaSalle University, and I got fired over that situation. I was radioactive for almost 2.5 years, which I was. And Bob Huggins, when he took the job here, called me up, and he gave me the chance to get back into business, which I was out of the business because of the LaSalle thing. So talk about getting second chances. The guy, I've known Hugs for 40 years. We've been buddies forever. But for him to call me up and knew that I was in a situation that really wasn't my fault, what I got fired over was crazy. That's a whole nother story. But for him to call me up and to go out on a limb, which I know he did, he had to sell West Virginia University, Eddie passed along, and the whole Title IX people here, he had to sell them that I was okay. And I'll tell you what, he gave me my second chance. So
for all you fans out there,
he's the best.
Once you're out of the business as an assistant coach, it's really hard to get back in the business.
Absolutely.
And if you do get back in the business, no disrespect to anyone, any of the lower level coaches, you usually get in on the lower level. So for someone like Hugs to reach out to Billy, I'm sure Billy was probably shocked.
I'm sitting with my wife. I said, Kathy, I said, Hugs just called me and says he wants me to join him in West Virginia. I told Hugs, I said, I'll start walking right now. I said, I'll start walking. Hell, I don't even need a ride.
Yeah.
Eric, we got a couple minutes left here, but I want to talk to you about this. And I want these people to know this. It's how much Erik means to me. Erik went to Cincinnati, and he called his mom, and he said, Mom, I want out of here. This ain't what I thought I was signed up for. And his mom hung up on him and said, figure it out, Erik. Well, Billy Hahn went to the University of Maryland, off the farm of Indiana, and I called my mom and my dad my freshman year, Erik, and I go, I want to come home. Same thing. Hung up the phone, figured it out. Erik Martin is a very got a good spirit in Erik Martin. I'm not gonna get religious on you, but I'm telling you, a man's a big time believer. And he cares about, he praises the good Lord for good things
No
to
doubt,
him. I know you
no
do.
doubt.
And I know that comes from your family.
Yes.
His family, it's an unbelievable family. And I'm gonna brag on my family. My mom and my dad were very spirited people, and we counted our blessings every day. And that's why this guy, there's no doubt in my mind, this guy is going to be a big-time head coach after we win the national championship.
Damn right, yeah, no doubt. Thanks for having me, Billy.
Yeah.
And I apologize for taking so long to get here, but you've worked for my boss, and you know, boy, after losses, we got to get better players, Erik, so you got to be on the road. But
I'm going to give away one more gift, and then we'll call it a night, Erik. I got this mug here. Looks like there's ice in it, but it's not. It's a freezer mug. Oh, you can put this in the freezer. Wow. All right. Here's the trivia question for this mug. All right, let me get a good one here. This is a pretty good one. Who is West Virginia University's leader of this team in Big 12 games only? Who leads this team in free throw percentage shooting? Who? Who raised their hand? Nobody yet. Who?
he plays for West Virginia?
The question is West Virginia in the Big 12 games only. Who said Carter? Wrong. Not Javon Carter. Believe it or not, somebody's shooting a better percentage than Javon Carter. Who? Who said it? Well, she wins. You knew Sags? Sags. That's not a great. All right, we'll give it to somebody else then.
Thanks.
All right, another question. All right. Technical foul. All right, here's my question. I'll go real quick. Who does West Virginia on Monday? Who do we play Monday? Yes. Give it to her. Hey, thanks for coming out. I want to thank the Green Turtle again for sponsoring this for me and the Courtside with Billy Hahn every Wednesday night. And I want to thank the Dominion Post. Jessica, thank you very much for all the advertising and everything that Dominion Post does. So Dominion Post, and for you people that watch this show tonight, tomorrow on DominionPost.com, this will go on their website. About what time, Jessica? After 5 o'clock, you can watch this entire broadcast, and you can watch my man, Stan Rote. Thanks, Stan, again. Appreciate it. Thanks, Erik.
Thanks for having me, brother.
See you next week.